Hi, my name is Hannah Garrity,
And I'm Natalie Zheng.
and today we're giving a presentation on the argument for no-kill shelters for our Animal Science 67 course. So, no-kill shelters often come with the misconception that they don't euthanize any animals, but this isn't actually true. Animals are still euthanized for a few reasons. They just focus on only euthanizing animals that have health issues or behavior issues that can't be fixed. The goal of no-kill shelters is to ensure that healthy animals are not euthanized before they have an opportunity to be adopted. No-kill status isn't actually determined by any governing body. The current widely accepted benchmark for no-kill status is a 90% survival rate or higher. However, that number has and can be changed.
So this slide gives a brief outline of some history relevant to the no-kill movement. It is also relevant to mention that dogs are the first domesticated animal, as shown by the timeline below. This matters because it highlights the fact that dogs are far from being wild animals. Estimates guess that dogs were domesticated somewhere between 15,000 years ago and 40,000 years ago. It's a bit of a gray area in between. Dogs have had tens of thousands of years to evolve a mutualistic relationship with humans. They are far from their wild wolf ancestors. The existence of dogs begins with humans. The no-kill movement really begins with individuals sheltering strays. Individuals wanted to protect and care for these animals, so they did so by themselves, and eventually this turned into a much larger movement in the 1990s. And in 1994, San Francisco became the first no-kill city in the United States.
So the no-kill movement really emerged in the 1990s. Adopting shelter animals has historically been seen as a lesser option to buying animals from breeders because shelter animals were viewed as a less desirable option for pets, seen kind of as rejections rather than animals deserving of good homes who would make good pets. The no-kill movement began because people wanted to stop the euthanasia of healthy animals in shelters. San Francisco implemented policies and new agreements over time that allowed it to stop killing adoptable animals beginning in 1994. The achievement took several years of work to happen, but it was a success and it marked a significant achievement for the no-kill movement. The biggest ethical issue with euthanasia in animal shelters is that the animals being euthanized are not animals with non-treatable health or behavior issues. When adoptable animals are euthanized, an animal's life is being taken away with little to no real justification besides overcrowding. An animal is being deprived of the opportunity to be adopted into a good home. Humans domesticated dogs and cats as pets. They've served many purposes throughout history, including work and others, but they were not bred to be livestock and they're definitely not wild animals. If it wasn't for humans, dogs and cats wouldn't exist. For this reason, the responsibility of their welfare belongs to humans. We are obligated to care for dogs and cats because if it wasn't for us, they wouldn't be here. The argument for kill shelters is often that stray animals are overpopulated. However, this ignores other options to resolve the solution, like reproductive control, that can fix the overpopulation without taking the lives of animals. The picture on this slide has 7 animals, and if they were in front of you today and I told you there's only room for 5, which two do you choose to euthanize? Would you really be able to euthanize 2 of those healthy animals, or would you have to look into all of the possible solutions that existed?
Dogs and cats are often companion animals. The relationship they have with humans is mutualistic, it's not one-sided. Animals don't just benefit from our care, we benefit from them as well. There are numerous benefits to having pets, including social, health, and several other benefits. Right now, the statistics show that there is an increase in the number of animals being adopted or returned to their owners, and over half of the United States households own pets. And in 2024, over 60% of shelters were no-kill. While in the past, no-kill shelters may have been the minority that people saw as a nice idea that really wouldn't work. Today, it is growing into the norm. 4 states in the U.S., those are Delaware, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Vermont, have achieved and maintained no-kill status. 10 other states are less than 1,000 animals away from achieving no-kill status. And an estimation by Best Friends Animal Society marks California and Texas as the farthest states from no-kill status. They need to save 62,400 and 86,000 animals respectively to be part of no-kill. They say that if 1 out of every 17 families who get a pet this year adopt from a shelter, nationwide no-kill status will be attainable. Rescuing pets from shelters is growing in popularity. Most people nowadays have heard of the slogan "Adopt, don't shop," and animal shelters are viewed less and less as second choices than they were in the past. The Best Friend Animal Society is a large organization dedicated to the no-kill movement. It was started in 1984 by some individuals who have been rescuing and sheltering animals. They got land in Utah and with the intention of using it to rescue animals. By 1990, they were operating a true animal sanctuary and were hoping to rescue a large number of animals. The sanctuary shelters many different types of animals, including dogs, cats, rabbits, horses, and birds. They shelter both domestic species of birds and wild birds in need of rehabilitation. They campaign for shelters to become no-kill and have formed a network to support their cause. Best Friends Animal Society advocates for the entire U.S. to become no-kill. Now, Fresno is not a no-kill city, but there are several no-kill organizations in or around Fresno that shelter animals and try to minimize the amount of animals that are euthanized. These organizations include the Valley Animal Center, Animal Rescue of Fresno, Fresno Bully Rescue, and the Cat House on the Kings. The San Joaquin Valley has one of the highest euthanasia rates in the U.S. due to a very high number of strays.
The Valley Animal Center in Fresno is a no-kill facility that began in 1992 as the California Feline Foundation, and it grew into a large center in Fresno that is able to help shelter thousands of animals annually. They have the capacity to house hundreds of animals at a time, dogs, cats. They take on animals from local agencies that are at capacity, so animal control agencies that are kill shelters will have animals end up at the Valley Animal Center. The Valley Animal Center only euthanizes animals with serious diseases or painful conditions that cannot be treated, and they vaccinate, spay or neuter, and microchip all of the animals that they get. They also have a veterinary clinic dedicated to low cost. They offer grooming services, and they have a dog park that works on a membership basis. So they offer a lot of resources to help animals. Here's a picture of the Valley Animal Center and their 2024 Community Impact Report. They have over 500 active volunteers in 2024. They rescued over 1,000 animals. They had over 1,000 successful adoptions. They spayed or neutered over 2,500 animals, and they gave over 20,000 vaccines. So they clearly have a big impact on the community and on animals in Fresno.
The Animal Rescue of Fresno's website say Animal Rescue of Fresno, or ARF, was established in 1998 by a group of community members in Fresno, California, who wanted to do something about the high number of homeless dogs that were dying because no one gave them a chance to find a forever home. ARF is a no-kill shelter in Fresno. Their website currently shows 24 dogs available for adoption. Shelters like ARF rely on volunteers, donations, and grants in order to continue operating and caring for animals. So here are some pictures from the ARF website, including some pictures of the dogs that they have rescued. The sentence "Heaven can wait" encapsulates the purpose of ARF. They want to give dogs the life they deserve, rather than cutting their lives short for things like having no space.
So the Fresno Bully Rescue is a rescue near Fresno that was founded in 2008 when a lot of dogs were being surrendered after the housing market crash. It is dedicated to bully breed dogs, so pit bulls, bulldogs, those breeds. They house over 40 dogs, and they have additional dogs that they foster out to different households. They offer educational services, and they organize dog therapy visits to different programs like assisted living facilities and veterans programs. And people can volunteer to foster dogs through Fresno Bully Rescue, which helps socialize dogs that don't have a permanent home. So here are some pictures from their website. We have 2 pictures of adoptable dogs they currently have right now. In 2023, they had 117 adoptions, most of which were adult dogs. And in 2023, they took in 121 new dogs. So they took in just a few more dogs than they adopted out. And they also got 165 new volunteers in 2023. So they have a lot of work going into these different programs to make them happen. The Cat House on the Kings is another rescue near Fresno. This one primarily does cats and kittens, though they do have a few dogs. They were established as a nonprofit in 2002, though the woman who established it had been helping shelter cats for a few years before that. They're dedicated to sheltering feral or abandoned cats. They don't euthanize any healthy adoptable cats, even by request of owner, which some places will. They have an area to care for FIV positive cats, so they're taking care of cats with those incurable diseases as well. And they currently have over 700 cats and kittens, which is a very large number. They are also no cage and no kill, so they don't have any cages on their facility. And you'll see on the next slide some photos. They offer education, spay and neuter referrals, and a place for unwanted cats to be cared for. So here on this slide, we've got some pictures of the kitchen of their facility, an outdoor space, and as you can see, they've got fences and those screened-in patios, but none of the cats are in cages. They've all got space to roam and socialize, and this picture here on the bottom left shows that it really is a big facility with some good acreage.
Animals today are still being euthanized because of overpopulation. A shelter in Los Angeles mistakenly euthanized a 2-year-old pit bull mix that was about to be adopted. And when we say about to be adopted, we're talking an hour before the owner arrived, this dog was euthanized. And the shelter blames the mistake on miscommunication, and it is very disappointing to see that an animal lost his life due to a very avoidable mistake. The animal had no health issues or behavioral issues, but was going to be euthanized to make space, so the death of this animal could have been saved if there had been a no-kill policy in place at the shelter. This graph shows the increasing rates of adoption from 2016 to 2021. It is important to note that in years after COVID, this rate did decrease because people were no longer sheltering in place and had less time to spend with animals. However, this shows the popularity of pets, especially when people need socialization and when people spend time at home.
This next graph shows the revenue made by the pet industry from 2016 to 2023, and it also shows projected revenue for future years through 2030. Pets are viewed more and more like members of the family in today's age, and as more people view them that way, they also spend more money on their pets. These graphs reflect how much people want pets, and that people want to and are willing to spend money on their pets. Out of the many people getting pets, if more people would just adopt their pets rather than getting them from breeders, far fewer pets would be stray and fewer animals would be euthanized, allowing the whole country to advance towards being no-kill. So there are a lot of points to the argument for no-kill shelters, beginning with the basic humans domesticated dogs and cats, so we're responsible for their existence, and that makes us responsible for their welfare. No-kill shelters take on that responsibility by preventing healthy, adoptable pets from being needlessly euthanized. Currently, there's an increase in the number of pets being adopted, so more and more pets are able to find themselves in homes. The majority of shelters in the U.S. are, in fact, no-kill. They have had success in expanding their presence since the beginning of the no-kill movement, and they are increasingly popularized. Adopting pets rather than buying them from breeders is growing in popularity as well. If only 6% of people chose to adopt rather than purchase their next pet, the U.S. could reach no-kill status. Although many people argue that no-kill status is not possible, it is attainable if people put in the work and the effort to support the welfare and survival of animals, especially by adopting them from shelters. This is a cause worth putting effort into, and people should recognize that. So our opinion is that the motivation behind the no-kill movement is understandable and the intention of no-kill shelters is good. However, we believe that even if people adopted enough pets today for shelters to achieve no-kill status, that doesn't stop the influx of pets that need place in shelters. The U.S. has an extreme number of stray animals, and that population needs to be kept in check and ideally minimized. The downside to no-kill shelters is that they have a limited capacity. While other shelters do, unfortunately, have to euthanize more animals, they are able to take in more stray animals for a chance to be adopted because they don't keep animals for indefinite periods of time when they're at full capacity. We believe that reproductive control measures like Capturing, neutering, and releasing strays should be taken to prevent the number of strays from increasing, which would eventually open space in shelters and prevent them from having to euthanize as many animals in the first place. We believe that while the idea of no-kill shelters is noble, it may not be the best course of action for helping the well-being of animals as an overall population. And we have 2 resource slides here. So here's our first resource slide, and here's our second resource slide.
Okay, thank you.